Hello, beautiful women. Very happy to make this video for you. This is post masterclass. We were not able to save the replay. We had a few technical glitches, so I'm here creating a short video for you who were not able to present yourself at the live masterclass today, or for the ones who had to jump off because of the sound. The sound was not so good. So what I'll do is kind of a recap of the masterclass in about 20-minute max, offering you a little bit of the insights that were shared, and also having a short interactive experience, and also suggesting you the next steps, as I did in the masterclass, really making sure that everybody's on the same page with the opportunities that are being presented. And yes, all right. So the first thing that we actually addressed during the masterclass today was a bit of who I am and who we are. So I spoke a bit about my story, and my story really starts from, let's say, in my 20s. I was, traveling a lot, and my whole life I was a freedom seeker, a truth seeker. Authenticity was always something that was super important for me. It was always awakening this compassionate anger that I love calling, which was a sign for me that was something that my soul was calling, was important for me. And seeing people in their essence has always been super important. And I've been always sensitive to truth, to what is aligned and what is not aligned, and is the person in her potential. So this has really guided actually my own personal life. And it propelled me into traveling a lot in my 20s, visiting many countries, discovering about cultures, but mainly discovering about the notion of space. What does space inside having space offers me? And that was the first big shift of my life, when I realized actually that I could remove those veils of conditioning in front of my eyes. And those veils were composed of ways of being and also a direction. I always thought before that, I had to get married. I had to have my good corporate job. There was this like path that was traced, but deep down my soul, there was a knowing. And I knew that something deeper existed. And I kept hearing that voice, and I kept hearing that calling up until that moment where I was in Brazil on that, just magnificent beach and sunset. And that's just a context, but it was really an awakening moment for me when those veils were removed. I tapped into a higher frequency, and this frequency really said, there's another way to live. You don't need to go back to your corporate job. You can create your own path. It's possible. So when I heard this, nobody could actually remove this from me. And I was never, ever able to go back the same way. I had an answer inside my heart, and that answer became everything. And it gave me the courage to pursue that out of the path, out of the beaten track, let's put it like this, from a backpacker, vocabulary. It propelled me. So I'm back, and a few different events. I went also to spiritual community where I am in right now. Also, I've been coming here for 12 years, and it transformed my life. And that transition point was when I went to my boss's office. And maybe some of you heard me say this in different interviews or summits, but I went to my boss's office and I told him, listen, I need to go back home. And I'm going to insist on the word home, because home was not only my house and withdraw from the corporate environment. Home for me was really my body. It was my temple, because I realized that there was something talking to me from the inside. I realized that there was something called the inner world, and that many answers were in there, that I had access to a lot of wisdom, but I didn't have enough space in my day-to-day corporate job to access it, because I was too busy, right? Too busy in agendas that were not serving my higher calling or my deepest desires. And I didn't have this vocabulary then, but I had the longing in my heart. And so I jumped. I went to see my boss, and then I jumped. And I spent, since then, this was 12 years ago. And I have to admit, I spent the next phase of my life, which was about 10 years of exploration, deep exploration inside my body. And that deep exploration, I was really the scientist of this temple. How does it work? How does it speak? What does it need? How do we heal? What does space create? What are the phenomenons? How do we access those states of being, of trust, of love, of joy, of freedom, without necessarily having to take my backpack and go to another country, but having to travel, having the opportunity to travel inside and to find those answers inside. So this was a very, very deep journey. I also got pregnant and gave birth to a beautiful son in those years too. It opened my body to receive the seed of life and also be able to get pregnant, as I was not able before when I was in the corporate environment for different reasons that I will not get into right now, but just to share part of my experience and where I come from. And all of this exploration in my body is one of the main reasons why now I decide to offer spaces to women to access to access those answers inside, to gain clarity, to embody, and to start recreating their lives based on really truth and authenticity, knowing that it is possible, that there is another way, and that this way is designed for you only, and that there is some kind of recipe. But at the end of the day, it's surrendering into this unknown, and really choosing that there's no real other way that you want to. And if there is another way, then it's conscious. It's a conscious path of, okay, I need this temporarily, but my soul is calling. So this was kind of the third main transition in the last years. It was 2 years ago when I started coming out of my temple and of the few relationships that I had, schools that were really nourishing that lifestyle of, being super inside my body and learning. And there was another push, and that push said, listen, you have to take your wings now and start sharing with women, start sharing with the world. And trust me, I was not comfortable at all, but the push of the call was so strong that I had to start breaking those links with whether the schools or the relationships or the contracts that I was still taking once in a while. And that was the next step. And this is why I'm actually speaking to you right now. I started building summits. I started appearing more online, having bigger groups to really appear in the gifts that I had acquired, appear in the wisdom that I had acquired from inside, to then offer those spaces, those sacred spaces, to women who wanted to dive in such a journey. And many women come and they're scared of the unknown. They don't know where to start. Many women also come with overwhelm. I've been hearing this so often lately of how the new energies are crazy. And I addressed this on the email, because overwhelm is just normal when we receive so much information, and most of the people here listening are super sensitive, and our nervous system needs to find a place to ground, and this ground is Mother Earth. And one of the things that I learned during those 10 years is that nature is our ally, right? And all this path is about going back in harmony with nature. And when we feel overwhelmed, it means that something is disharmonious. Our nervous system is shaking, and nature is calling back. Mother Earth is calling us back to ground, to discharge all the information, to discharge it on her and to integrate in ourselves. And now this brings me to the 4 steps that I named, which is really the first step is to embody. The 4 steps to awaken the authentic woman you are. The first one, which is the most crucial and at the base of everything that we offer, is the embodiment. Creating space in your body so you can receive more of your energy and potential. And creating space in your body, what it does, and how I was sharing this today, is really about taking those boxes that we live in, which are the resistances, let's put it like this, or the thoughts and the emotions that we have been conditioned, and it's all encrypted in the body. We all go through this, right? So creating space actually helps us bring more flexibility to those resistances. It opens our mind, it clears the toxins out of the body. And with that space, our body can have more, can accept more energy and can really receive more of the potential that it was designed for. So we are those, let's say, souls that go inside a body which is more constrained, but the soul has a certain vibration, it has a certain frequency. And all this path is about reclaiming that frequency. It's about reclaiming your essence, which is your gift at the end of the day. But that gift is kind of hidden, it's kind of protected, because we have learned that it's not safe to appear in our gifts. It's not safe to be our natural self or organic self. It's not safe to appear in our potential, which can be perceived as, it's too much, or whatever the stories that we have been telling ourselves, which are all perfect in time, but they're here to protect us from actually serving our purpose. So that's the first step. The embodiment part is super, super crucial. Once this happens, we have a more intimate connection with our body and more intimate connection with the wisdom, the whispers inside, more intimate connection with our intuition. And the body speaks. So when we start feeling resistance, or we start feeling pain, or we start feeling desire, we can actually have a proper, authentic, and genuine dialogue with our body. And with the space that we have created, there's more silence. And in that silence, we can hear more, we can listen deeper. And that's what we mean by the second step, which is gaining clarity on what your needs are, gaining clarity on what your gifts are, gaining clarity on your deepest desires, gaining clarity on what you feel called for real. What has been vibrating in you since you're a young kid, when you were free flowing and just spontaneous? Something was really calling. And this is what that second step is about. Once we gain that clarity and we regain access to that wisdom inside, we are ready to take more action. Look at our relationship with work, with people, with food, with situations, circumstances, because we are creatrixes. We create our lives, and whatever happens inside our body manifests outside. As within, so without. As above, so below. This is kind of true. It's for us to go in and prove it. Let's put it like this. But everything that happens inside has its own manifestation outside. So once we have gained, reconnected to the body, then gain clarity, we are ready to address this in this 3D world and start creating the change that's required for our next version, the next version of ourselves, after peeling those layers of what was not true. And it's a process. Then we can start taking action, saying yes, saying no, aligning. Is this aligned with my deepest desire and my highest calling? Am I following this intuition? Right? So this is number 3, the step of creating your new playground, your authentic playground. And it's a beautiful step where you actually create change in your 3D life, where you see things happen, where you bring your soul into action. And it's a beautiful step. A lot of fierceness appears in there, a lot of willingness, a lot of courage, and a lot of reality check, because we are here to we're not here to stay in the dreams. We are here to actualize this in reality. So that's step number 3. And then step number 4, once you have your new setup, once you feel safe inside your body, once you have all this clarity, you start appearing naturally to others. And that 4th step is actually very simple, because there's no real doing. It's all about being. With all the space you have created, your frequency has now more space to be transmitted out. And that is the gift. That is your gift to the world. So that's not step number 4, which is appearing in your gifts and in your authenticity and being of service to others. Now that step can be extended and it can take a form. That's usually step number 5 that I don't really address here, but it can start appearing in step number 4, which is your willingness to create a platform for others, being of service, being a teacher or a mentor, or having your own online inspirational platform. It can be a book that you've always wanting to birth, but you've always felt scattered or not have consistency in actions. When we work with the body and we learn to ground into our safety, which is at the womb level, once we start reconnecting to this depth in the pelvis, in our roots, we can take actions. Every action that we take becomes super powerful. And that's when we actually rebirth ourselves and projects into the world that have the power and the capacity to be received by others also. All right, that's when we speak about giving birth to projects, and it can also be giving birth to a baby. It's the same process. So all of this is the awakening the authentic woman you are process, which is in 4 or 5 steps. And it's a rebirth process. It's always this kind of washing machine that I love speaking about, but it's rebirth. It's always recreating yourself looking at what you're creating in the 3D and always realigning with all the answers that you're finding inside, and living in this unknown path, and at the same time knowing that you are the creatrix of your life. So that's the whole thing. What else I wanted to share? Yes, so I wanted to share with you also something that we wrote about who we are. I spoke about who I am. Now who we are, I exposed a little bit of the system, but there's a small paragraph here that I want to read with you that I read also in the masterclass. So we help women embody who they are authentically, peeling off the layers of what is not true or serving their highest potential, bringing more consciousness and intimacy into their lives. We help them step into their voice and their authentic power, trust their inner value, and recreate their lives based on their deepest desires, highest calling, and natural gifts in essence. We are creating a movement under a vision, a current, where women come together to rebirth into a life of more truth, power, authenticity, and alignment. Women are impacted globally going through the transformation system in place and have ripple effects on the frequency of our planet. So right away, feel whatever has been shared now inside your body. Is there something that resonates? Is your body, are your cells kind of awakening? Are you feeling something that resonates with truth for you? And this is the art of always perceiving the essence behind words and the intention behind words. And this is how we know if something is yes for us or it's not, or whether it's not for us, right? So what I want to share with you now that I also shared is the next step. So if this resonates for you, we are giving an opportunity soon after this masterclass. It's a 2-day retreat. And this 2-day retreat, we're making it super, super accessible. And we're also combining the 2-day retreat package with a half an hour strategy call with us, and also a bundle of meditation and womb activations based on Mother Earth, on fire and water energies. So let me just unscramble a little bit of this, and bear with us. Keep on receiving. Keep on receiving. So the 2-day retreat will dive deeper into those 4 steps, and we'll really dive deeper also in your vision and what's keeping you stuck. We'll dive deeper also into what are the solutions that we are suggesting. And we'll go through coaching, hot seating. We'll go also through a question and answers. And we'll really be cultivating an energy, a frequency throughout those 2 days. And those 2 days also are going to help you gain the clarity that you came here to gain, and also the ground that your nervous system needs in order to reduce the overwhelm that you've been feeling with all those energies and changes that have been happening on our planet for the last year. Let's put it like this. The coaching call, the half an hour discovery call, is a personalized call only with you. And we're also going to dive deeper into your vision and what's keeping you stuck, and what's the next step for you. What do we see, and where you could be of the most service for your life, and then going deeper with that. So the 2-day retreat is going to happen in a few weeks. It's going to be on the 15th and the 16th of April. It's a Thursday and a Friday. And the bundle package for this, the bundle package for this is $67. Okay. So $67 is actually really peanuts. The value of this package is $1,700. So for the ones who are listening and who have already been in our programs, you know that this is true. And $67, we want to make it super, super accessible, especially for the ones who have watched the summits. And if it's a calling for you, by all means, join us. Those 2 days are going to transform your life. You're never going to be able to look at your life the same way. If you feel that the summit has been creating space inside of you and you are ready now to take those steps, or even to be inspired for those 2 days, then by all means come. I'll be putting the link also underneath the video right here and in the email that you will be receiving with a bit more details. And you just click and put your details there, and you'll be all signed up. Okay. So the $67 price point is only available today, April 1st. Okay. So tomorrow morning, On April 2nd, the price will be changed to $197, which is also still an amazing offer. But this price point for $67 is only for you who have registered and either showed up or you were not able to jump on the masterclass today. So it's $67 for April 1st, and then it's going to be spread more general on the mailing list at the $197 point. Okay. So so again, I want to honor you for your courage. I want to honor the beauty and the potential that you have inside. I want to honor the essence that you have, and which is your birthright. And we are here to really help you and create a safe container where you can actually appear at the depth of who you are, connected to your deepest desires, to your highest calling. And we are here to offer a proper structure and a system, a transformation system that will help you take the next step, just being with people who have been walking the path for many years. And we cannot do this alone. I've been surrounded by coaches and mentors for years right now, and the truth is we need to be surrounded by community. We need to be surrounded by people who want to hold that same frequency for our lives, for ourselves, and for our planet. And then we all rise together. Especially nowadays, it's just so important to not stay alone and isolated. It just doesn't work anymore. So click on this link. If you have questions, we're always here to answer, but really $67, it's a no-brainer. Go ahead, click and be with us for those 2 full days. We're gonna dive inside the body. You're gonna learn about this embodiment practice, ground your nervous system, and gain clarity. And we'll all be journeying together in those 2 days. Okay, so I'm making it short and sweet. So much love to all of you. Again, honoring your courage, and I'll see you very soon. All right, blessings. Bye-bye.